Hello, instrument team. I'm going to run through some demos of the three different synthesizer types. I'm using an app called Sampler, S-A-M-P-L-R, on the iPad. If you happen to have an iPad, it's $10. It's a great app, but hopefully this video helps explain some of the different synths. So what I'm going to do is record samples that will be similar to what we'll get from musicians, and then process them in the way similar to how the synths will work, and then finally play them a little bit. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is the piano or keyboard, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick, let's see, record input. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's our sample. The first task of the synth is to find out where the sounds start and stop. In all likelihood, the first sound will start at the beginning, but in this recording it doesn't. So the first task of the synth would be to go through and put markers at the starts. So when the volume goes from 0 to something greater than 0, that should be a slice. And there might be some where it's a little vague. I don't really know how we're going to handle that, but I'll also have a chance to process the sound files before we put them into the machine, so that might be something we can deal with. Then the act of playing the piano or the keyboard.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So you can imagine this being the playing space. Let's see if I can do that without screwing up the shot. This is the playing space. That's the floor, basically. And as people walk from one
2, 3, 4,
space to the
5,
next,
6, 7.
then it'll trigger the sound in that space. Now we're going to get, or we're using a grid of 20 wide by 10 high. Here the high is connected to volume, so
4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
And we probably don't want people to be able to go like this,
1,
because that'll make a mess. So we probably have to superimpose a tempo where if they're standing in the space
2,
at the start of a clock cycle,
3,
that's when the thing will play. So if someone's running like this,
5,
might go like this
1, 3, 7.
if it's on a clock cycle. I'm going to play around with some effects right now just so you get an idea what those are for. This is a high pass filter. It takes the low end of the sound out.
4, 4, 4, 4.
That's a low pass filter. It takes the high end out. This is the filter off.
4,
This is reverb.
4,
I don't know if you can hear the little echoes.
4,
And then this is called a delay, which is kind of more naturally called an echo, but for some reason in music it's called a delay.
4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
So you get the idea of what's going on there. That's the keyboard. We can use the same sound file to demonstrate an arpeggiator. I'm going to change the mode of my little app here. And now when I put my finger in the spot here,
4, 4, 4,
see how it repeats?
4,
And it repeats on a tempo.
4,
When a second person walks into the space,
6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4,
and then a third person,
4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6, 3, 3, 5, 3, 4, 4.
so that's the arpeggiator. That's the second instrument. And then the third instrument we are calling the grain synth. And the idea with the grain synth is it takes a little slice of audio and it just repeats it. So the piece of audio that we would be putting into the grain synth might be like something sort of airy, like a violin sound, or the sound of a BART train or something like that. And ideally it would probably travel over the course of time. So let me just record something real quick here. I'm just going to sing something. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's try it again. This one. So that's our sample if we just play it. no idea why the pitch is so funny, but it's just going to have to be okay. So that's that. So if somebody's on the field in the grain synth and they're standing here, see how it's repeating? And then we're going to make the amount of time that it takes to start over shorter. So that person's standing here, then this person comes in. Here comes another person. So something I don't have control of on this app is I don't have control of the individual person's width, so I'm just going to show you what happens when we change all of their widths at once. So this is the grain synth, and then you can imagine it with the arpeggiator. And then maybe with a high pass filter. Maybe a little reverb. Let's go back to the arpeggiator, put a little delay. So that's the upshot, the piano, the arpeggiator, and the grain synth.